North Africa, which is Israel, is separated by the Suez Canal and is not part of Africa. And this canal was dug a few days ago. Are you okay in your head? We are on the same platonic stone, Africa and Middle East. And God created a garden east of Eden. Therefore, Africa is Eden. We need to decolonize this Jesus story and throw away a white Jesus with his idols. I don't believe in a white movie star from Hollywood who is supposed to have come around and saved me from my sins. How can a white boy with blue eyes die for Africans when they cannot even share land with us? Show me one white man who has died for a black man. Show me one white man. 25 million people dead in the sea on their way to America for slavery. 15 million people dead in Congo. 25 plus 15, 40 million plus people dead. And all their blood means nothing except the blood of a white boy. If you are going to do theology, do it correctly. Do it correctly. And give me an option. If I want to believe in a white Jesus, I'll believe in a white Jesus. If I want to believe in a black Jesus, I'll believe in a black Jesus. But if you want to be true to the biblical text, then be honest as theologians. And I'm embarrassed to be sitting here as a theologian together with some of my theological friends who have gone to school to study. And when we come out of school to study, we actually continue to promote the wrong theology and push it in front of our own people. We have become the colonizers ourselves, Uncle Toms, who are sitting on the conscience of our people. Which is wrong. Which is wrong. How do you sleep at night taking money from widows and orphans? How do you sleep at night taking money from people who cannot afford food and bread because Jesus will bless them? For the past 15 years they've been giving their offerings to you and their lives have not changed. What is the problem? Because you don't have faith. You don't have faith. When Amfundis, do you have faith in collecting money from us? So we need to understand and deconstruct the whole picture and ideology of this white Messiah. And as long as we worship a white Messiah, my submission to you is that we are not worshiping the truth of the text. This is an academic exercise we're doing here. If you want to be true to the text, please, I bought a can of Coke. Can I drink the Coke? Can I drink the Coke? Don't tell me just drink as long as you are drinking. I said I want Coke. Therefore, remove the unnecessary iconography.
You know, I admire this guy who is called Joshua Maponga. Is it Joshua Maponga? This Maponga guy who used to be an SDA, who is having his video recordings on the internet. As a Pan-Africanist, I admire him. Oh, yeah. He has got very sound arguments and very sound observations on what is wrong with African communities and African people. Yes. The inferiority complex that we have as Africans, in which we don't want to speak our own language. Yes. We want to associate with Europe and the West. Everyone who is regarded as successful, he is supposed to be either based in Europe or America or connected to those that are based in Europe and America. Our children, our parents, our ancestors, our grandfathers and grandmothers, they had ways by which they would examine our daughters. Yes. To make sure that they have not lost their virginity. And if you go to places like Malawi, they do the Chinamwari initiation programs. Anybody who says he is now civilized to the extent of disregarding those practices, he has also been genetically modified mentally. And if you hear people arguing about it, most of them, they didn't have their virginity when they got married. They are now hiding behind civilization to say, no parent should examine their child to see if they are still virgins or not. Yes. So we are bringing people to argue and to give us their idea on what they think. Should we examine our daughters to see if they are still virgins or not? And instead of bringing proper people, we are bringing whores and prostitutes to argue. Yes. Paari kuramba kuti vanasikana ngavarege kupota vachitariswa kuti vachiri mhandara here. Ari kudaro nekuti iye akaroorwa, asi pamwe anatozoroorwa ijoki iri harina mbobvira rakazi kana akaribvisa mumhandara harichaziva izvezvi.
Yes.
And do you know why our parents insisted on preserving, monitoring their daughters, that they should not lose their virginity? If a daughter is married with her virginity, it's difficult for her to say, I no longer want to stay with this husband, because she will be thinking and considering a lot of other things, among which is the issue of, I can't walk away from the man to whom I lost my virginity, because if I find another man, he is not going to respect me because he didn't find me a virgin.
Yes.
Let me fight to protect my marriage, because I only have one husband who knows me for sure. I was not a bed hopper.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yes. So I love the men's arguments. I sometimes watch these videos. This Maponga guy is a Zimbabwean. But where he is wrong is when he starts to talk about God.
Yes.
He talks about decolonizing Christianity. He talks about preaching about a black Jesus. He talks about the Bible being an instrument of the white man in colonizing Africa.
Yes.
And he demonizes the Bible because of that. I don't understand the way he thinks when he talks about it, because if a woman has been abused because she lacks power to defend herself in the wake of a rapist,
Yes.
how can you hate the victim who raped a woman because she was weak? The Bible doesn't talk about colonizing Africa. It was the white men who abused the Bible.
Yes.
In the Bible, there is no scripture that says Britain should colonize Zimbabwe.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
And Portugal should colonize Angola. No, there is no such scripture in the Bible.
Yes.
Whoever colonized the colonized using the Bible, he was perverting the Bible. The same way the current preacher in Africa is reading the Bible and lying to the gullible people.
Yes.
If you come to give me your money, God is going to give you more money. Here is the scripture. Africans are now being colonized by their fellow African countrymen.
Yes.
Using the same Bible.
Yes.
What the white man did 100 years ago, the black man is doing it with the same Bible.
Yes. Even worse.
The man has stolen an election, but when he takes the oath of office as a president, he is taking up the office of a president. He uses the Bible to say, so help me God. Which God he disobeyed when he murdered people during the election.
Yes.
Which God he disobeyed when he lied to the electorate. Which God he disobeyed when he manipulated the electoral process to tilt it in his favor.
Yes.
What the white man has done with the Bible, the black man is doing the same. Nobody is innocent in this ill. The Bible is not to blame.
Yes.
We should blame the perpetrator of the abuse and not the instrument which he used. There is no black Jesus. Christianity doesn't need decolonization. Christianity is a wrong religion entirely.
Yes.
If possible, it needs to be avoided. It needs to be banned. It needs to be abolished. What Jesus died to establish was not a religion. What Jesus died to establish was a kingdom. If you look at what he instructed the apostles to go and preach in Matthew 10, verse number 5, he said to them, as you go to preach, go not into the way of the Gentiles and into any city of the Samaritans, enter ye not.
Yes.
But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Yes.
And as you go, preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
Yes.
What Jesus died to build was a kingdom. That's why in Colossians chapter 1, verse number 3,
Yes.
verse number 13, Colossians chapter 1, verse number 13, it actually says, God delivered us from the power of darkness
Yes.
and has translated us into the kingdom of his dear son.
Yes.
It's a kingdom, my brethren. It's not a religion. It's a kingdom.